with the way we are right now currently on a global scale with
Yeah.
COVID-19 and Black Lives Matter having
Oh my goodness.
such an like has been unprecedented times for sure.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
why is the human beauty movement message important right now?
Yes, and it's such a great question because I feel that this has been a year that has really kind of thrown everybody up in the air and shaken everybody out, and a lot of people are feeling like, yeah, everybody's feeling like they're in limbo,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like the lesson of this year. I almost feel like is how can we get comfortable with discomfort, because there's so much unknown, and therefore there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a whole heck of a lot of stress that people are feeling this year, because it's almost as if, you know, if we thought about Maslow's hierarchy and most of what we would consider the privileged, you know, American, let's call this American because we're kind of both situated on the coast here in America, but for, you know, middle class, upper middle class, you know, we were at a certain level, and then all of a sudden everybody's like completely brought down to the lowest level of Maslow's hierarchy, and just wondering about the essential essences of survival.
Like,
you know, is my family going to be healthy? Am I going to make it? Am I going to have enough money to even make it through this week, let alone this month or this year?
Right.
You know, and so there's so much stress, and there's so much anxiety, and there's so much tension bubbling up from things becoming so atypical and not the quote unquote normal way of the way that we used to do things in the past. We're all of a sudden finding ourselves having to shift and figure out new ways of coexisting and of surviving. And so, yeah, I think that the message of the human beauty movement coming out at this time is a sense of security from an internal perspective. And so, whereas I had founded this even, you know, before COVID and before Black Lives Matter, I founded the Human Beauty Movement in March of 2019 with the mission to be about radical inclusion and wellness. And what are we living in now? It's a time where we need radical inclusion and wellness.
In the big,
in more ways than we could have ever imagined. I mean, these things have really come to a tempest. And so, yes, I think that you know, seeing what's happening with social injustice and the way that that is interlinked to the ability to have wellness, because unfortunately, you know, the Black community is being hit by COVID, as we know, in, you know, much greater numbers at higher percentages than privileged communities and white communities. And there's so much racial tension that we really, what I would like to do is, you know, at a grassroots level and through, you know, wonderful blogs such as Between the Sheets, and in any way I can, I want to get the message out about people feeling that it's okay to not feel okay. It's a part of the human condition. The fact that we are all human means that we're going to be going through this. But the more that we can cooperate and learn not only tolerance, but acceptance and love, then I think that,
you know, things.
Yeah, the world will be in a better place. You know, there's this wonderful human, his name is Mark Gaffney, and he had this quote that really resonated with me, which is like, you know, the world right now is in like this extraordinary, outrageous amount of pain. And the only response to outrageous pain is outrageous love. Like, we cannot have pain fighting pain. We can't have selfishness. We can't have this hoarding mentality. And if we do, it's not going to be constructive to building a better future for anyone. Really, we have to, you know, we have to see, even, you know, even in as dire a situation as any of us are in, what can I do to help somebody else? What can I do to think about somebody else? And that's where beauty comes from. The beauty is in that kindness. It's in compassion. It's in empathy. It's in understanding that we're all in this human soup together.
Yeah.